Welcome back to First Things First. Time for our recap of Super 6 NFL Sunday. Nick, you nailed 4 out of 6 winners correctly. You also hit the Chiefs-Vikings score exactly. How shocking was that? Packers out.
Yeah, listen, I blame myself for getting the Titans pick wrong. Shame on me for betting on picking the Titans in any scenario. But the Packers, I feel like everybody got that wrong. I still don't know how they got dominated the way they did. To go to Los Angeles, where 85% of the crowd is your fans, and to be down 3 scores throughout most of that second half was an embarrassment for Green Bay.
Yeah, they talked about it during the broadcast that the Packers actually got into L.A. late on Saturday when they were traveling, and that the team still hadn't woken up by the time
I blame myself.
Sounds like a bunch of excuses to me. They went out there and got whooped by the Chargers, which is inexcusable, losing to a 3-win team.
Well, by the time they woke up, I was never mind.
Pockets were lighter, Nick.
Yeah.
Salty. You're very salty right now.
I'm a little annoyed with the Packers.
Before the games kick off next Sunday, download the Fox Sports Super 6 app, play for free for a chance to win up to $250,000 of Terry Bradshaw's money.
Oh, this is going to be the weekend. I got Terry's money. They say I'm ineligible, but I'm going to dispute that when I win.
As well, I think you should. Time for us to go viral. The Washington Nationals were at the Capitals game yesterday to continue the World Series celebration. They put on quite a performance. First, crushing beers while up in the press box. I liked Adam Eaton chugging through the jersey.
Oh, good job, Adam Eaton.
Right?
Yeah.
Then, check this out. They took a joyride in a Zamboni, because who hasn't wanted to do that ever? But obviously, if you're going to do this, you can't have your shirts on, because that would just be normal. And without any comments, I guess we'll move on.
Well, I was about to say...
I was going to let you finish your read, Jenna.
Okay, the party continued back up in the press box with more beer chugging and more shirtless debauchery.
On the shirtless debauchery, I really do hope that as part of the championship celebration, shirtless debauchery, that our trendsetter, our trailblazer gets credit. That being J.R. Smith.
Yeah.
He, of course, set the template for this. He made this cool, made this popular back in 2016 with the Cavs, and now everyone's following him.
Yeah, Washington sports fans, go ahead and enjoy this one and enjoy your Nationals. That's about the only team that you got that's going to be competitive this year.
Wow. Wow.
Where's the lie, though?
Well, they've won championships. They've won a hockey
where's the
and
lie?
a baseball. It's not a lie.
Well, the guy that put together the hockey team, he's not there anymore.
Okay, that's fine.
He's no longer
Listen,
there.
I can't talk
He's no longer there.
Ice hockey.
Okay, all right. Just to let you know.
Unlike JR, there's not a excuse me, not a tattoo amongst them. JR was all tattooed.
That's correct. That is correct.
Well, I just wanted to tell you what my observation was, and now we can officially move on. Time for stories to start your morning. LeBron James is playing in his 17th season. Don't tell him that. He has now recorded triple-doubles in back-to-back games. First Friday night against Luka Doncic and the Mavs, then Sunday night against the Spurs. All right, Nick, take it away.
I mean, who has the best record in the NBA right now? Oh, the Lakers.
The Lakers.
The best point differential, the Lakers.
Oh,
the best player. Oh, yeah, the Lakers, too. And he took care to remind people of it this weekend. This weekend just averaged over 2 games against 2 excellent teams. 30, 11, 15, 3, and 1. And one last thing, who has the league leader in assists? Oh, the Lakers, and it's a guy in year 17, LeBron.
Yeah, but the kid Luka Doncic is pretty special, putting together a 30-point triple-double. That was something to see. And then, of course, Anthony Davis made a statement in that game, too. Just to remind folks, I know they call KP the unicorn, but Anthony Davis is one of the best players, if not the best big man in the National Basketball Association.
And how about this? Because the Lakers had a great win last night as well. But in Friday night's game, Luka and LeBron simultaneously became the youngest and the oldest players to ever have a 30, 10, and 15 game, and they did it in the same game. Very cool.
Dwight Howard got away with one with that chug at the end of regulation when Danny Green hit that 3. Just saying.
Dwight last night, how about 14 and 13, 7-7 from the field? Dwight was great.
Nick itching to talk basketball this morning.
No,
Let's
just
talk
giving
some
you
Chiefs.
info.
Your guy, Kansas City beating the Vikings on a game-winning field by Harrison Butker. Patty Mahomes looked pretty good.
Chill, Patty, chill.
Back off.
Back off, Patty.
He is on track to return next week. Nick, what is your reaction to how the game ended?
That is a great win. by the Kansas City Chiefs. A Viking team feeling great, a Viking team that was 6-2, that I was concerned was going to run all over them. All of a sudden, Chris Jones comes back. Chiefs defense looks legitimate. Matt Moore did just enough, and Harrison Butker hit the game winner and hit a 50-some-yarder a few minutes prior to tie the game. That is, for a team that had lost 3 straight home games, that is a critical win by the Kansas City Chiefs.
Yeah, you read my mind. That's exactly where I was going. Listen, you can't afford to continue to give away home games, especially if you have championship aspirations. That wasn't a must-win game, but that was a can't lose, and the Chiefs took care of their business.
Especially with the Raiders getting the win that afternoon. That would have, all of a sudden, they would have only been a half game up on Oakland.
Russell Wilson and the Seahawks were hosting the Bucs yesterday. Russ showed why he's one of the best in the game. 378 yards, 5 touchdowns. Seahawks needed every yard, though. They hold on to just barely beat the Bucs in overtime, 40-34. Nick, did Russ make an MVP statement?
Canny, I'm with you on this. He's been making it all year.
Yep.
There was, through a couple weeks of the season, Patrick Mahomes looked like he was going to repeat his league MVP. Then all of a sudden, he had a couple statistically mediocre games, and he got hurt. And Aaron Rodgers had, a few weeks ago, I think 8 touchdowns in 2 games. And Deshaun Watson, as of late, has surged. And Lamar, certainly as of last night, has gotten himself in the conversation. But there's one guy from week 1, we just finished week 9, has been right there the whole time. And it's Russell Wilson. He's been spectacular. He's made one big mistake all season long. It was the pick 6 to
Marcus Peters.
Marcus Peters against Baltimore. He's doing it with a motley crew of receivers. He had turned Will Dissly, a tight end, into a real weapon. Will Dissly pops his Achilles, no problem. You got DK Metcalf, who can't change direction, no problem. I'll throw it to him in the right direction. And when you watch Russ play, Canny, it seems like the catches seem impressive by the receivers because it's in close windows, but every time it seems like it's hitting the receiver in the perfect position every time. He's playing, this is a first ballot Hall of Famer, playing the best football of his career. So yeah, he has kept himself atop the MVP power rankings, if you will.
Yeah, he's earning every penny of that $35 million a year extension that they gave him this offseason. But, I mean, they gave him that for a reason, because you always use the term force multiplier. That's exactly what Russell Wilson is. If you talk to receivers that play with really good quarterbacks, they talk about how when the quarterback throws the ball, right before it gets to him, the ball slows down a little bit. That's exactly what seems like happens with Russell Wilson in the passes that he makes to his receivers. And he's got a special type of chemistry with Tyler Lockett. You see in gotta-have-it type situations, he's always looking for Lockett. He's kind of replaced Doug Baldwin in that regard. But in terms of judging quarterbacks and judging who the most valuable player is, all you have to look at it is this. The competitive greatness of the individual player, being at your best when your best was required. Yesterday, in overtime, Russell Wilson, 5 of 8, 70 yards, and a touchdown. But even before that, setting up an opportunity for Jason Myers to have a 40-yard field goal, which he missed. But then the team not flinching because they know they have number 3 under center. That speaks to the importance of what Russell Wilson brings to that team. It's a confidence factor that Seattle Seahawks team is playing with right now. And listen, they didn't return the favor for the LA Rams. Rams lost at home to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. That was a situation based on the deficit that the Seahawks had in that first half, being down 21-7. They could have easily lost that game, but they found a way to hang in there, and then Russell made the requisite plays at the end.
I didn't, as we've joked about on the show, I did not have a good day gambling yesterday. One of the few wins I had was Russell Wilson's Seattle Seahawks, and I got to tell you, even down 21-7, I was never concerned. As long as the Seahawks were going to get the ball, I felt great about it. They were down 21-7, and the Seahawks even's playing terribly. And what does Russ do? Leads back-to-back touchdown drives and the 2-point conversion. Tied 27 apiece. A 3-play, 75-yard drive with the huge play to DK Metcalf. You mentioned after the Seahawks give up another touchdown. I was worried Tampa might go for 2 in that spot because they couldn't stop Seattle. They kicked the extra point. Russell, in less than a minute, gets him in chip shot field goal range. Missed. So when the coin toss, drive him right down the field. He is just in total control at all times. This is that next level of play that I think guys can only get to when they have the talent, the confidence, and the experience, where it does appear that for Russell, everything is slowing down. And I don't think DK Metcalf's a superstar. Maybe he will be one day, but not as a rookie. I don't think Tyler Lockett's a superstar, but his production has been superstar level because Russ puts them in the best position every single week. He was sensational.
All right, we got to take a break. Coming up, how embarrassing was the Packers' blowout loss to the Chargers? That's next on First Things First.
22-1 touchdown interceptions for Russ this year.